Hey guys, it's Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving. Wanted to go over and share with you something that I was given to review. It is another item from Hcalory. I've really been happy with Hcalory's stuff. I love their diesel heater. I've shared that one with you before. And this was just one of those things that I thought, man, that's really cool. I reviewed one of these about a year ago, not this brand, but a thermal imaging camera. And at first I was like, is this something I'm going to use? But I got to tell you, I love these things. And I've been amazed at how many uses I found for it in my shop. And I also remember, I think it was Michael from Engraving 911 showed once, especially for those of you with lasers and things like I have in here. He actually uses one of these to scan his lasers to keep an eye on the components, make sure things are running right, they're not overheating. And it's a really cool thing that you can do with these. And then this one in particular has a really fantastic screen. It's really good resolution, like far better than most of the other ones that are in this same category. And price-wise, these things have come down significantly. We had a thermal camera, I remember when I was on the police department, and it was like thousands of dollars. And now they're only a couple $100, so they've really come down a lot. But they can really do some interesting things. So I'm going to show you some of the features I love about this one. One that's real important, and I've actually refused a couple others. I was asked to do these before, and it wasn't the Hcalory one, but one of the things that turned me off immediately was it not having a tripod mount. You can see down here, this one has one. This is a standard tripod mount, which I think is important. Even though you're going to use it handheld a lot, there's going to be times that you want to be able to attach it to something, and I love when they put a tripod mount in here. It seems like a tiny little thing, but you'd be amazed how many of them don't have that, and it's a super important feature. The other nice thing on this one, it will run practically an entire day's worth of work. You can, keep using it, and it's got a really long battery life. It's got storage built into it. It charges right up here in the top. It has a USB-C where you can not only charge it, but where you can also download the data from there, so your videos and things that you record right there in the USB-C. A couple other really nice features. This one also has a laser pointer where you can use the pointer so you can have a visual reference of where it's reading the heat from. So that's another feature you can turn on. And it also has two lights in it. So see the two little dots to the right and left of the lenses? Those are LED lights. So if you need it for light or if you're in a dark place, that's a nice feature to have too. If you press and hold the button in, it will start recording. And if you press it just once, it takes a picture. The other nice features on here, there's lots of things in the menu. I won't go through everything. But if you click, you can change the view mode. So there's lots of different view modes usually on these, and you can see in this one it's showing heat as red and everything else kind of a blue thermal, and you can just keep clicking through them, and it's nice to be able to change. So this one's showing you a regular picture, but only in the very square middle it's showing the thermal, and that's one way you can change the appearance of what you're looking at. It's giving me all the different options I have here. So you can have like black and white, where white or black shows up as hot. You can have red. One of my favorites is this one right here. This is, I think they call it ice blue or cold blue, but it shows you cold spots. This was really useful when I was trying to do a good job of insulating my garage shop here. I could walk around and find spots where there was, a lot of cold coming in. And if you have like windows or an older house or places where you have to check that kind of stuff, like here we're over at the windows, you can see I can kind of scan along there and look for any bright areas where there's cold coming in. And that's a pretty cool feature there. So there's a lot of functionality in here, but I'm going to show you some things that I've used it for in my shop besides just checking, sharpening and heats for that, which is one of my favorite things to do. I've showed that in a video, and it was one of the reasons I got one of these in the first place, was to dispel the myth of that belt sharpeners will overheat a knife. And I am going to actually show you that again with this one, because it won't, especially if you're using a variable speed or a low speed grinder. Now, high speed, you might need to be a little more careful with a high speed tool. It's one of the reasons that I loved these and wanted to get one in the first place, was to kind of put that myth to an end. But the amount of uses I have found for this, I mean, you can find leaks, you can find animals. I had some mice in my shed, and I was able to find where they were all hanging out. Believe it or not, they were in the tube of one of my blowers, but their little heat signatures were coming through. So this is me searching around the shed. That's the light in the shed. And right about now, that's the motor of my blower right there. We're looking at the motor. And then I noticed, see that bright little dot in the tube? Well, that is a mouse. In fact, it wasn't one mouse. It was about 4 of them living in there, but that one was showing up really bright. You can actually see a little one below that. So it's a really neat tool. You can, like I said, you can find leaks. You can find devices that are on. So the other day in my shop, I was just scanning the whole shop, and you'll notice that plugs and things that are plugged in will show up hot. And then I realized, oh, wow, that I had left something on. And it was just a little fan for one of the 3D printers, but I had forgot I had left it running. And the one that I was using was a filter. It's a HEPA filter for a 3D printer. I didn't want it to just keep running for no reason. So really cool little things like that you wouldn't think of that you can use this for, just quick scan in your shop and making sure everything's turned off. And I'm going to cut now, and I'll show you some of the recorded videos of different things that I've done with this. So this is currently on sale. It's around $200, I think, and $20. I'll double check the price for you. Yeah, this is currently on sale on Amazon for $227, which is a really good price for one of these. My other one was over $300. $227 is fantastic, and this one actually is superior to my other one. Figured I'd point that out to you. Some of you guys might like to get this. A lot of fun things that you can do with it, as well as a lot of important things. And depending on the type of job or things that you have, this is also really useful to, show customers. If you're some type of repair guy, you can show them issues that you can detect with one of these thermal cameras. So very cool. So let's jump into the some of the things that I've done with it that I thought were pretty cool. So sometimes with the 3D printer, I have to use what's called an iron. And this is my little 3D printer iron. You can use it to smooth out areas or adhere areas that didn't melt really well. And I was wondering, sometimes I go to use it, it just seems like it's not doing anything. And I realized by using the thermal image camera, I can actually see when it's reached full temperature, because it will feel hot sometimes back by your fingers and hand. But you can see here that the iron part up at the tip was nowhere near as hot as it should be yet. I use these Polymaker filament dryers for my 3D printers, and I was always curious if they distributed the heat really evenly, because I've seen people building rotators for the filament so the filament would spin around so it evenly evaporates in there. And you can see it's got a really significant hot spot in the back where the heater is, and you can also see where the heat rises up to the top. But I can see why people build the rotator for it, because of the fact that it's really definitely has concentrated areas where all that heat is sitting. If you're not moving that filament around every so often, you're probably not getting the most even evaporation of the water inside of that filament. So I thought that was really cool just to be able to see that. And I was like, maybe I will consider building one of those. This is my new filament dryer from Bamboo Labs. And look at the better even distribution. This thing has more of a blower inside of it. But the other really cool thing with this one is it actually rotates the filament. But look how much more even the heat is. We don't have, a whole bunch of cold spots. You can see, of course, it's going to be hotter up at the top because heat rises. But overall, we can see a much better picture of heat throughout that whole thing. And when you add in the fact that this thing is actually rotating, you're getting that nice even drying. So one of the reasons that I might convert some of my poly dryers with the kit that they have for those to actually make them have its own built-in rotator. So now I'm over at the, this is the 2x42 buck tool. And I wanted to, again, check and see what we could determine about temperatures with the buck tool on the variable speed and make sure we're not hitting any too high of a temperatures there. So, and you can see the heat there, 100 we hit, but nothing concerning at all there as far as like high numbers. Everything was fine, but it's really neat to see that residual heat sticking around. Next, I decided to go over to the 1x30 and jump on there and see what we were getting. So it's really interesting. This particular setting gives you the high temperature, low temperature, and then what it's pointed at. You can see it's a little cluttery there when you have two of the objects really close to each other, but you can easily see that our highest temperature is actually the LED light on top of the sharpener. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Is that my strop? Yeah, that's my strop. I'm sorry. This isn't the sharpener. This is me stropping. I wanted to see what the temperature was from the leather because sometimes you feel that get a little warm. But you can see it never even got hot enough that it was hot anywhere even close to the temperature of the light. We stayed real low there because if it had gone above 122, it would have changed from that red would have jumped down to where the knife is, and we're seeing what looks like about like 80 over there. So very low temperatures, nothing to be concerned about at all. So when you hear people say that you're going to overheat a knife, you definitely won't. On a variable speed or low speed sander, you shouldn't be overheating a knife. You can get it pretty hot, but not the temperature that you're going to need to ruin the temper on something. You won't even come close to that temperature. And if you did, you would know because you could also burn yourself because the temperature to ruin the temper on something is quite hot. In general, you'd have to hit 300 or 400 degrees or start going above the temperature that the knife was tempered at. Next up was the 1x30, and I'm using just the regular clear picture mode because you don't have to have the thermal cameras turned on for it to read the temperature. So this is just, the regular normal picture, and it's still doing the same thing, picking up the highest temperature and the lowest temperature on this particular setting. I took the center mark off so that we could see it read those highest temperatures. And you can see on this Toolker, this is Toolker 1x30, very similar to the Vevor. Our highest temperature is around 119, 120, not very high. It's actually occasionally jumping up to the top wheel up there, and the wheels will get quite hot on these units. Nothing there to be concerned with. Again, you can see we still have relatively very low temperatures. So here is a A30 Trizac belt, and let's see if we get any temperatures here that make us concerned. These definitely are hotter. You know when you sharpen with a Trizac belt, you can feel it get hotter than you would your a Kubatron or a Bora 7 belt. But again, what are we, 116, 113. Definitely not any temperatures that are going to cause any kind of tempering problems at all. And again, we're seeing higher temperatures from the bearings on the machine than we are from any of the sharpening. No problems there. Everything looks good. And again, here I'm just smoothing out the bolster area on this knife. And you'll see when I pull away here, nothing. If it had been really hot and higher than that 122, it would have jumped to that knife. And we're not seeing anything there. It's kind of staying pretty steady at the highest temperature, just being right where the angle guide and everything is touching at it, running at about 120 or so when it's under friction. And here's the A16 belt. This is the last step in my process other than stropping. And just to check this too, probably the densest and closest pattern of any of the abrasives. But again, just zero significant heat at all. We're not getting anything that's hotter than the angle guide. The angle guide, where it's just running and touching the machine, is the hottest thing on there. So not even affecting the knife at all, really. And I always like to test it and be sure. So I grabbed a torch, and you can see it's reading the torch, no problem. And then to make sure it can read even tiny things, I heat up the end of a dental instrument. And you'll see when I bring that into the picture, it immediately finds it. Look at that. 320. It is all over that little dental instrument that I heated up with the torch. And you can see as it's cooling, it's dropping it in temperature. But that'll show you, like, if that knife had been hot, it would have picked it up no problem. If it can pick up that little tiny tip of that dental instrument, it is certainly not going to have any problem picking up a knife that's overheated. And you can see how it just goes right to that. And that's just the kind of proof of concept there to just show that, yes, it will pick up even a tiny, super hot item. It's going to pick that up. Now it's cooled down, safe to touch. I'll leave the link in the description where you can get this. And just a reminder, it is on sale right now from Hcalory. And I want to thank Hcalory for sending it out for me to test and show to all of you. A couple additional features I did want to mention. It is 1 meter drop proof, which is always useful to have. And the second thing, it has IP54 protection. I had to look this one up. The I stands for ingress protection. The 5 is protection from dust. And the 4 is protection from water. It's protected against splashes and kind of indirect water hitting it. So rain and things like that. Doesn't mean it's waterproof. You can't submerge this thing, but it's pretty good level of protection. It is very easy to transfer the data. So if you needed to put this into like a home inspector report or anything, and as you can see, I had no problem bringing the videos into my video today. Very easy to use, very user-friendly on the data side. And again, that enhanced clarity is really hard to beat. It's got a beautiful picture. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to check out this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you all soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.